There were men and women who dreamed of freedom, fought for reforms, and sacrificed their own lives for the future of the Filipino people. One of the most recognized figures in our history is Dr. Jose Rizal, a man who used his words, ideas, and knowledge to challenge injustice and inspire a movement for change. But more than a statue or a name we see in textbooks, who really was Jose Rizal? And why does his legacy continue to matter even more than a century after his death? I'm Angelique Lazo, and this is In Person. Ito ang In Person. Our guest tonight is a historian and heritage professional who works to preserve the stories, places, and memories that shape the Filipino nation. As a Historic Sites Development Officer of the National Historical Commission of the Philippines, he helps ensure that our important historical sites and events remain relevant for present and future generations. Please welcome in person Mr. Josef Alec de Geradila, Historical Sites Development Officer 2 of the National Historical Commission of the Philippines. Okay?
My pleasure po.
Napapanahon naman that June 19 is the birth anniversary of Dr. Jose Rizal, our national hero. Balikan po natin ang naging buhay po ni Gat Jose Rizal. Bilang tao, hindi lamang bilang bayani, of course, kilala natin siya, ito, napakaganda ng statue niya dito. Paano ba dapat natin kilalanin si Dr. Jose Rizal?
Well, sa amin po ma'am, sa tagal po natin, simula nung nabuhay pa si Rizal, more than 100 years since he passed. We look at Rizal as a person who lived in his time, as a person who had convictions, who had apprehensions, who had dreams. Pero yun po, as a person, we usually meron po tayong tendency na when we think about our heroes, we think of them like almost as nadi-deify natin, parang nasasamba na halos. But what we try to look at is Rizal, like all of our heroes, tao po sila. Usual na tao, may mga pinagdadaanan, pinaghihirapan. Rizal po himself came from Ilustrado family.
Yes.
So they were not really landowners, pero they managed lands in Laguna. Pero they themselves experienced hardship. Yun po yung malaking core ng kanyang trauma na naging, kumbaga, artistic source niya later on when he was writing, and as a part of that class, that Ilustrado class, he was gifted and exposed to a lot of different types of art, and he was a very imaginative and expressive person. He sculpted, he painted. Meron siyang famous portrait ni Juan Luna. They were friends. And you can see the mischief in him there. So, yun po.
Anong style niya? Kasi maraming nakakilala siya sa kanya bilang isang manunulat. Kilala natin siya bilang isang revolusyonaryo. Pero hindi yung mag-aangat ng mga armas, Iba yung naging style niya, di ba? So, itong binabanggit mo ngayon, parang hindi natin yan masyadong napansin na aspects of his life. So, when he was a painter, when he was painting, ano yung style niya? Was it like realist? Yung bang may pagka-abstract pa?
Medyo may pagka-impressionist po siya, actually. Yun nga po he was not as good as his compatriots. We have to be honest about that. Iba po talaga yung level ng mga kasama niya, like the likes of Felix Hidalgo and Juan Luna. But he could paint, yeah. Meron po talaga siyang his style is very personal as well. Most of his paintings are portraits of his friends. And these were made during his time in Europe as an expat, as a student, working and living with other Filipinos abroad, trying to find themselves in a large world na hindi pa nga kilala yung word na Filipino at that time. So, it was, for him, it was an expression. You can also see that in his other works. He had sobrang voluminous po ng kanyang letters. We know him best as a writer, as you said.
Do we have those letters? Saan naitago ba yan?
We do have some of them in our collection. The National Library, kapitbahay po namin dito sa TF Calaw, they have more. They have a lot of their more Rizalian.
Correspondence niya dito sa Pilipinas?
Yes po, we have copies of those. Correspondence niya with family, with friends, yung colleagues niya in the field of, nga po, he's also a naturalist, he's also a doctor as we know. So,
ophthalmologist siya,
yes, he's an ophthalmologist, although he did practice everything. Yun nga po yung
parang dami
style sa
niyang
kanila.
trade. Jack of all trades ba?
Very, ang tawag po sa kanila ay Renaissance man.
Renaissance man, yes.
Sobrang appropriate po talaga niya. When you think of a Renaissance man,
yes,
Rizal would be the quintessential na example po.
Because he mastered each one. Hindi lang parang passing.
He dabbled in everything.
Pero he was also good. He wasn't mediocre, no? He did pretty well.
Not at all. Actually, ma'am, tama po kayo dyan. Most of the things that he did, he took up engineering. There was a time, as you know, kilala naman po natin na pinatapon siya ng mga Espanyol sa Dapitan. Currently, Dapitan City, which loves him up to the present day. When he was there, he dabbled in engineering. He built up the city's first waterworks. Nagpatayo siya ng dam using money that he won from the sweepstakes. And the dam is still there. Nasa pangangalaga po actually namin within the Rizal Shrine in Dapitan. And it's a marvel of engineering kasi he only knew how to do this because he learned about it while reading. Diba? It was a practical example of learning what to do by doing it. So I think that's something that Rizal exemplified. He tried everything because he wanted to know how to do everything. Parang so, yun po.
Paano nakatulong itong iba't ibang mga expertise niya, no? Or mga interests niya, yung mga kakayahan ni Jose Rizal sa kanyang naging misyon sa ating bansa?
I think it provided him with a very broad perspective. Madalas po natin sinasabi na si Rizal hindi po siya yung revolusyonaryo na nag-aaklas, nagtitikap ng nagtitikap ng arms against the authority.
Right.
But if you look at what he did, because of his long perspective in life, mula nung nagsimula siyang bata siya sa Calamba, later on nag-aral siya sa Binyan, nag-aral siya sa Maynila under the tutelage of Jesuit friars sa Ateneo. Matagal din po siyang nabuhay sa pangangalaga ng kanyang kuya Pasiano, who'd later become a general in the revolution. And then his long stint as a Filipino abroad, the challenge, he understood the hardship of his fellow countrymen, and he understood what would it take for them to finally rise. We often see Rizal po kasi as a monolith, kumbaga mag-isa lang po siya. But in fact, Rizal is more important than that. He is the source of a lot of the inspiration for later Bonifacio, kahit si Aguinaldo, up to the 1920s kila Quezon, up to the 60s kila Claro M. Recto. They all trace their intellectual, their emotional, their nationalistic perspectives from Rizal. And Rizal was not even alive when we declared independence. But ganun po kahalaga siguro yung naging perspective niya. yung naging karanasan niya sa buhay, the wide expanse of his experiences in life, that he managed to write in his works, to do in his deeds, things that would inspire Filipinos 2 to 3 to 4 up to the present generation.
If you think about it, he lived a short life, no?
He did.
Only 35 years,
Yes.
practically. He was born in 1861, died in 1896. So he would have been 165. No, 165 years old siya kung nabubuhay siya. Around that age, ano? Okay, give or take a few months, di ba? Dun sa panahon ngayon, no, na marami tayong mga iba't ibang mga hamon na baka hindi niya rin nakita. O pwede rin, because meron siyang vision, ano, he could also have seen it. Ano sa palagay mo ang mga aral na binigay ni Rizal sa buhay niya na mahalaga pa rin para sa mga Pilipino ngayon?
Pero po, one thing that we think remains relevant, whatever season, whatever period, is that he believed in the capacity of the Filipino to hope. Hope for a better life.
Hope, not just cope.
Not just cope. May magsasabi po siguro hope is just a way of coping. Pero in his work, in his aspiration, you can see that there was always hope in him na the Filipino could rise up to the challenge. Our nation, our people can always do better. So we may falter, we may experience hardship, pero laging may bukang liwayway, laging may sunrise at the end of the long night. One of the things that we also like about his lessons that we continuously return to, mula pa po nung mga generation right after Rizal, is that he really did believe that the youth is the hope for the future.
I was going to lead to that na lagi natin kinukot yan, ano, ang kabataan, ang pag-asa ng bayan. Talagang sinabi ba niya yan?
Opo, sinabi naman po niya talaga yun. Not in so much
many words.
But there was always the undertone, the undercurrent na he did believe that the youth, not necessarily children, the youth is the hope of the nation.
Ano yung konteksto nito nung time na sinabi niya to?
When we realize he was a youth himself at his
Yes,
peak,
was considered youth pa ang 35.
Yes, ma'am. And at that time, most of the people who were leading the charge to fight for our right, initially for representation in the Spanish Cortes, later on to fight for our total independence, would be the youth. I'd like to point out na hindi po nalalayo ang edad ni Rizal kay Bonifacio when he founded the Katipunan. In fact, Bonifacio would be a part of the La Liga that Rizal founded. He would organize for the La Liga locally dito sa Manila. Aguinaldo would become president at the young age of 29 years old.
Yes.
29 years old. A lot of the generals, a lot of the leaders that rose up to fight for our independence were less than 30 years old, younger than 30 years old.
Yan, yung mga general natin nasa parang late teens pa nga yata isa.
Mga early 20s.
Early 20s. Oh, sige.
Mga early 20s.
Okay. Alright. This is so very interesting, ano? At sa ating pagbabalik, pag-uusapan naman po natin ang papel ng mga bayani, lahat ng ating mga bayani, at kung bakit mahalaga ang pag-alala po natin sa kanila. Sa pagpapatuloy po yan ng In Person.
Abangan sa Larigadon Live. Alamin ang mandato ng Department of Health at ang mga tugon nito sa may init na issue sa bansa. Kasama si Secretary Ted Herbosa. Larigadon Live. Ngayong Biyernes, alas 8 ng gabi. Dito lang sa inyong PTV.
po ang in-person at kasama natin ngayong gabi si Ginoong Josef, Alec D. Geradila ng National Historical Commission of the Philippines. Okay, so ito po sa paggunita natin ng Rizal Day, Independence Day, National Heroes Day, at iba pang mga pang-aalala natin sa kasaysayan, bakit po mahalaga na patuloy natin itong ginugunita?
Siguro po, as with life, we'd like to think yung holidays po natin na ganito are periods for celebration of lives dedicated to our nation and also for reflection. Para po na iintindihan natin kung saan tayo nanggaling, gano'n na kalayo yung nararating natin, at gano'n pa kalayo yung kailangan nating tahakin. These milestones, these holidays, yun nga po, they're celebrations, commemorations for us to honor lives that were laid down for our nation. It's very, sabi nga po ni Jose Santos, na it is an honor for hindi lahat ng tao na bibigyan ng karangalang mamatay para sa bayan. And these people took that chance, took that risk, and they paid with what they could have, yung rurok po ng pwede nilang maibayad, mailapag para po sa kalayaan, para sa mga karapatan natin. And for us, it is only a small gesture when compared to the sacrifices that they made.
Nakikita niyo po ba ang na pinahalagan pa ngayon ng ating mga lingkod bayan ang naging kasaysayan natin? I really wonder, hindi natin syempre i-generalize. There are those who really know our history and they value it and they treasure it. Pero yung iba kaya, alam pa ba nila kung saan tayo nanggaling? Paano ba tayo? Para ba maibalik din yung paniniwala sa ating mga public servants?
In full fairness po, a lot of our public servants know their history. As you know po, we're an agency of the government as well. So we work with a lot of our elected officials, appointed officials, and most of them do know their history, and we commend them for it po talaga. It's very important for our leaders to be in touch with the past. Siguro po ang disconnect is more of in the tradition and in the institutional histories that we should also take care of. We focus on the history of our struggles as a nation, but we rarely see the histories of our institutions, history of our, let's say, our judiciary is celebrating the 125th anniversary of the foundation of the Supreme Court this year. Actually, this June po ang Judiciary Month because of that. Likewise,
at ibig sabihin din noon, balikan natin yung mga jurisprudence, yung mga landmark decisions ng Korte Suprema that we can actually live with. I mean, yung guideposts natin sa mga nangyayari sa panahong ito, di ba?
And we see with what's happening currently that they are very relevant still. These are living history kung tutuusin po natin. These are the aspects of our history that we hope our public servants, mga lingkod bayan po, would be more attuned as well. Kasi po, as bearers of these histories, these institutional histories, they have the responsibility to ensure that it is preserved and passed on to the next generation of leaders.
And there's continuity,
Yes, ma'am.
Ayun. And consistency.
Consistency.
Ayan, okay. Paano nasusukat ang epekto ng mga bayani tulad ni Jose Rizal, Ayan, sina Andres Bonifacio, who I feel is parang kulang yung ating honor na naibigay sa kanya, and so many others, Paano yung naging epekto nila sa pagiging yung identity natin as a people?
We'd like to think po that they shape not only our present, but how we look at ourselves. So sila po yung bumuo sa pagkakakilanlan natin. Our national identity, our values as a nation, especially within our government, are largely shaped by the values of Rizal, Bonifacio, the works of Apolinario Mabini. Yun po yung sukat nila na how we look at ourselves today is directly connected to the things that they did, or the things that they worked on, the things that they wrote.
And unfortunately, in the past din, meron ng political factions, di ba? Yun ang medyo nakakalungkot isipin that nung unang panahon na yon, nagkaroon na ng division at meron na din pong nasakripisyo na rin ng buhay ni Andres Bonifacio na dapat na iwasan sana, ano?
Opo. Siguro po ang tinitignan namin ngayon is we have to accept the fact that our heroes are people. People also. It's very important for us to be circumspect. Kailangan po aminado tayo na tao rin sila kung tayo nga po nagkakamali.
Huwag masyadong judgmental.
Judgmental. And we cannot dispute or dispel the fact that, for example po sa nangyari, yung dinescribe nyo yung kay Bonifacio, it was the one who ordered his execution who would later on eventually lead us into independence.
That's right.
An independence that would be fought for and died for by a lot of people. So hindi rin po natin pwede i-dispel yun. It's very complicated. Hindi po talaga black and white ang history. But it remains relevant for us to see na kahit even in the disputes of the past, there are still lessons that we can take.
So may black eye tayo dun sa panahon na yun, ano?
Opo.
Pero we should rise from it and learn from it para hindi na maulit.
Exactly.
Ayan, okay. Sa panahon ngayon na may mga bagong uri pa ng hamon sa ating bansa, ano ang papel ng mga aral mula sa ating mga bayani at kasaysayan?
Marami po dito talagang they give us a sense of value system na gabay po for people regardless of what period. My favorite example po would be Bonifacio's Decalogue. Very simple, common sense nga po siya kung tutuusin eh.
Very down to earth.
Very down to earth. Any person, regardless of your stature in life, if you follow his yung mga aral niya, you would live pretty good, pretty
to be a good
purposive
citizen, purpose-driven life.
Yes. Talagang ano po siya eh, ganong klaseng pagtingin po yung makikita natin sa buhay ng mga bayani natin. As you know, hindi na po relevant yung ibang aspects ng ginagawa nila, pero there are still relevant things that we can take from their past.
Like for instance?
Mahalin mo ang yung magulang. That's
It's
the
so
most
basic.
simple. It's so basic na hindi mo na nga po dapat siya isipin. But from that, makita po natin yung value ng family as a core unit of our society. And that's something that both Rizal, Bonifacio, Mabini, most of them
They lived it.
They lived it. And iba-iba sila ng family experiences, but they all return to that, na mahalin mo yung mga magulang.
It was a core value. Sa aming pagbabalik, pag-uusapan naman natin ang misyon ng NHCP, National Historical Commission of the Philippines, kung saan tayo naroroon ngayon at kung paano nito pinangangalagaan ang ating kasaysayan. Sa pagpapatuloy po yan ng In Person.
Tara, lumikha! Papalapit na ang Father's Day. Nag-iisip na ba kayo ng mga pwedeng ipangregalo? Try nyo na ito, DIY photo frame para sa inyong memories. Isang espesyal na Father's Day drawing. At personalized DIY figurines na perfect para sa espesyal na araw ng mga ama. Sining ang magniningning dito sa
Artsy Craftsy, paalam!
Artsy Craftsy. Sabado, alas 10:30 ng umaga. Dito lang sa inyong People's Television.
Nagbabalik ang in-person at kasama pa rin natin ngayong gabi si Ginoong Josef Alec D. Geradila ng National Historical Commission of the Philippines. Okay, at para po sa kaalaman ng ating mga kababayan, ano nga po ba itong NHCP at ano ang mga pangunahing mandato po nito?
Siguro po may mga ilan tayong kababayan na mas matanda na mas kilala kami sa luma naming pangalan, National Historical Institute.
Yes, actually, hinahanap ko nga. Ano nangyari sa NHI?
Ang NHCP po, galing po kami sa NHI na naging commission po kami noong 2010 sa bisa po ng Republic Act 10086, so strengthening people's nationalism through Philippine History Act. Primary mandate po namin is to promote, preserve, and protect Philippine history, and to promote and protect our cultural heritage. Yun po. Sa ano po ito, marami po kaming iba't iba po actually yung mandate namin. We do research. Dito po tayo ngayon sa library namin, so we also collect materials on Philippine history from across the country and the world. We are we're the only agency that deals with heraldry. So, kami po yung nag-enforce ng Flag and Heraldic Code of the Philippines. So, kami po yung naninita kapag mali yung paggamit ng flag, mali po yung pagkanta ng pambansang awit.
Yung pagsuot ng parang bandila bilang costume, gano'n?
Yes, ma'am. Sa amin din po yun. Kami po ang sumusulat sa mga tao pag ganun po. Nagpa-publish din po kami mga libro. We operate 28 shrines, national shrines, museums, and historical landmarks across the country. We lead national observances, yun po, Independence Day, Heroes Day, Rizal Day, Bonifacio Day. Kami po yung lead agency for that. We do restoration work for heritage sites. Nagko-conduct din po kami ng survey and documentation of heritage sites built and paintings, we restore paintings. May laboratory po kami sa taas, full stock laboratory that conducts research. So yung mga nakikita nyo po na abroad, ginagawa rin po namin yun dito.
So marami-rami pala yung assignment ninyo, like in terms of buildings and landmarks, madami na mga simbahan kasama rin yan, di ba? Okay, ano ang kahalagahan nga ba ng pagpepreserba ng mga historical sites na ito, yung mga monuments, mga shrines, including of course documents, manuscripts, and everything else na nagpapakilala sa atin, nagbibigay ng ating identity?
Yun po, they remain physical, yung tangible things po na we can look to, we can touch, we can feel, we can experience, na nagko-connect po sa atin dun sa ating past. Para po hindi lang tayo nakakaalam ng past natin from our schools. These structures, these monuments are everyday things that we encounter na would remind us na our nation is something that was fought for. Our nation is something that is important, na people have chosen to dedicate their whole lives to ensure that we have a nation. Parang, yun po.
Ayun, okay. Sa actual na trabaho ninyo, dahil ikaw ay isang sites development officer, bilang historic sites development officer, ano po yung madalas o karaniwang ginagawa ninyo sa NHCP para mapangalagaan ang mga pambansang pamana?
Yung work ko po specifically entails with promoting our historic sites. So we do research work. Iba-iba po kasi yung nature ng sites namin. So if you're familiar with the Aguinaldo Shrine in Kawit,
yes,
kami po nag-ooperate niyan. Research work na you do for Aguinaldo Shrine, Rizal Shrine in Fort Santiago. So that's part of my work po. We
And the original home of Jose Rizal.
Yes po,
sa
in Calamba. That's also a site under our that we operate. So very busy po sila tomorrow. Apart from that, I also do primarily communications work po for the agency. I'm part of the team that manages our social media. Deal with the members of the press po like this. Kasi we really do understand that we need to share our history beyond what we do, beyond the research. Aanhin po namin yung research kung wala namang nagbabasa. Diba? So, yun po yung primary actually ng work namin. We are public historians in that sense, that we engage history with the public directly.
Paano po natin pinapakita ang mga heritage sites hindi lamang bilang tourist spots, ano? Siyempre, pasyalan yan ng mga turista, both local and foreign, pero bilang buhay na bahagi ng ating kasaysayan.
Madalas po yung heritage sites natin are still important spaces for the communities that they inhabit. So, pag pumunta po kayo ng Kawit, dami pa rin pong tao sa Aguinaldo Shrine. Hindi po yan mga mamamasyal. Mga ano po yan, mga taga-roon talaga na doon po tumatambay, naglalaro, nakikihalo sa barkada. They remain living spaces. Beyond that po, we conduct various activities, programs that we hope the public can engage in. We sometimes do living history programs na meron po tayong mga actors that we engage with that portray these spaces as if they were in the proper period. Sa aming tahanan po yung tawag dun sa project na yun before. We do lectures.
Mga light and sound shows.
Yes, so parang ganun po. We do workshops, we do concerts in our so meron po yan mga banda na yung mga marching band natin tumutugtog sa mga shrines. We try as much as possible to ensure that the communities that live around our shrines are engaged with our shrines.
Yes. And sila rin ang first frontline sila.
Yes po, sila po talaga ang frontline. When promoting in the struggle of promoting our history, yung mga museums and shrines po namin are at the forefront po talaga. They have to deal with students from as young as kindergarten to graduate students who are asking dissertation level questions. And ito po yung beauty ng mga nasa shrine is they can deal with everything. Kasi nga po, the job is to share our history with the public regardless kung sino yan. So, yun po. From their dedication, we've been doing this for almost beyond 90 years na po. So, medyo old na rin po yung agency namin.
Yes, oo. Okay, I'm sure maraming hamon, like, for instance, pag mayroong historical site, bahay ng isang naging bayani, yan ba'y binibili ng gobyerno para talagang it becomes a national heritage? Kasi, or is it allowed to remain with the family? Ano ba yung policy pagdating sa ganyan?
Wala tayong fixed. Under the current law, ma'am, di naman po required na turn over sa government. Actually, local governments are encouraged to provide incentives for families that wish to preserve their heritage. Kasi yung mga old houses, ganyan. Para sila po ay may stake doon sa pagpe-preserve ng ating heritage. We do buy. Well, not necessarily buy. We do receive structure sometimes.
Donated
mostly. Kasi nagbibigay din po kami ng incentives for that. And then, we sometimes have to reconstruct from scratch. Old, forgotten, yung mga nawala na po. Di naman po kasi kaya, to be perfectly honest, hindi po kaya ng government na lahat government yung magmamanage. And we are grateful for our countrymen, especially the families that own these houses, that continue to preserve them and especially open them to the public. Yun po yung mas importante dun, hindi lang preserve. To make sure that they are lived in, they are utilized by the communities, they continue to participate in community gatherings, yun po. So we're very grateful kasi the government cannot do it alone.
Pero maganda nga kung talagang ano siya, yung part of, yung merong nangyari dun sa bahay na yan, sa part of history, no? Pero what about like some buildings na very unique yung architecture niya, pero dahil nabili na ng ibang, di ba, developer, and the first instinct is to tear it down. Hindi ba may mga batas tayo na dapat i-preserve yung mga ganyang klaseng buildings?
Yes, ma'am. The primary law that protects our heritage structures is yung RA 10066, the National Cultural Heritage Act. Na-amend po siya last year. May protections po tayo of buildings that are 50 years old and older have an immediate presumption as important cultural property. So hindi po sila pwede basta-bastang igabain, majorly, yung drastically alter. Kailangan po muna humingi ng clearance kung kunwari po may babaguhin. Clearance as to how it will be remodeled or modified from either us sa NHCP po kapag usual na heritage site or historic site, or from the National Commission for Culture and the Arts. And then kung may plano po na totally demolish, nagre-request naman po sila ng delisting from the ICP list. So pwede po yun actually. Hindi naman po porket 50 years old na siya, hindi na siya pwede gabain.
Kung wala namang significance masyado, pwede na.
Normally po, pag works of national artists, yan po, si NCCE po yung nag-ano niyan. Kung pag may significant architectural design, nari po talagang unique, exemplar siya, yun po yung ginagamit na term. Unique siya to the extent na dito mo lang siya makikita. Or ito yung pinakamagandang example nito.
Tama.
Iniiwasan din po yan.
Yes, oo. And I really hope that we implement this strictly. Kasi may mga nanghihinayang, yung dating building dyan sa Taft Avenue, yung High Alay building, that disappeared, diba? And some other mga auditoriums na meron ding significance na wala na rin. Anyway, isa pang tanong bago tayo mag-break. Ano pa yung mga programa ng NHCP para mas mailapit ang kasaysayan ng ating bansa sa mga publiko, sa mga kabataan? You mentioned a little bit about this earlier.
We have a lot. Yun nga po yung, that's one of our primary, yung trabaho ko po is programming. We have various programs across the country. So within our museums, kanya-kanya po yan may schedule of activities per year. We do from as simple as kite flying activities na may designs that are related to history. Meron po kaming caravan ng kasaysayan para sa kabataan where we go to schools, we go to public spaces so that we can engage with children directly. Kasi naniniwala po kami na kahit bata pa lang po yung mga learners natin, they already have that seed na pwede po nating palaguin into some love of country.
Yes.
Na yung pagpapahalaga po sa heritage natin can start from an early age.
We really need to start young, no?
Yes po. And we also do programs for senior citizens as well. So buong spectrum po ginagawa namin.
Okay.
We do bike tours, we do lectures. Most of our activities involve lectures. So yun nga po, our job is to translate or to communicate our history to the public as public historians. We ask yung talagang hardcore professional historians po that are yung mga babad po sa archives, yung mga nag-abroad po para lang maghanap ng sources, to share their findings, to share their works with the public through spaces, webinars, broadcasts like this one. Meron po mga opportunities na nagkakaroon din po kami ng ganyan. We also make documentaries. Marami po talaga ginagawa namin. Hindi ko na po mabilang lahat.
Ayan, okay. At sa huli huling bahagi ng ating panayam, pag-uusapan naman po natin ang hamon ng kasaysayan sa panahon ngayon ng social media at ng information age na kuminsan nga po parang disinformation age. Ano? Sa pagbabalik po ng In Person.
For our next food crawl,
Yun, yung requirement dyan, kailangan running, hindi dapat walking. Walking!
tara na sa another Chibugan. Kasama ang certified foodie na si Joshua Garcia.
O, 2 daliri lang full squad. No, ang lambot nga ng baboy.
It's fun! Ngayong linggo, alas 10:30 ng umaga.
This is good for me.
Dito lang sa PTV.
Nagbabalik ang In Person para sa huling bahagi po ng ating panayam kay Ginoong Josef Alec D. Geradila. Okay? So, Alec, sa panahon ngayon ng social media, no, parang practically everybody's into it. May mga content na mabilis kumalat, pero nako, maganda sana kung tama yung impormasyon. Paano natin haharapin ang paglaganap ng historical misinformation o disinformation?
Ngayon po naniniwala po kami, ma'am, na kailangan direkta po natin siyang hinaharap, kino-call out at kino-correct. Kasi hanggat hindi po natin siya pinapansin, hinahayaan lang po natin, yung nature po kasi ng social media, talagang kumakalat siya, nagva-viral. Especially very emotionally charged po yung ibang mga historical misinformation na meron tayo. Or at yung iba pa po ay talagang groundbreaking kapag kumalat. Kailangan po as early as possible and as forcefully as possible, we correct the mistake, we correct the misinformation.
So meron ba kayong grupo na nagmo-monitor ng mga pinopost sa social media para ma-address nyo agad or makapag-comment?
Kami po, ma'am, our communications team is working on this. May mga ilang examples na po kami na kinall out directly. I think it was last year. We called out, kumakalat po sa TikTok and sa Facebook na ang Palawan daw po ay parte ng kiniklaim ng China. So alam naman po natin yung mga territorial concerns natin. So the NHCP as the primary agency po ng government that deals with our history, talagang at the very forcefully po namin sinabi na no historical record supports this claim.
Yes.
Na hindi po ganun nag-ooperate ang history. Hindi siya pwedeng claim ka lang ng claim. You have to be grounded in sources. And especially
And maps, historical maps, diba?
And with the current evidence po that we have, it is categorically clear na Palawan was never part of China. The West Philippine Sea was never part of China.
Oo. Kasi kung minsan, di ba, you repeat a lie so many times, then people will begin thinking it's the truth. Di ba? Parang paulit-ulit yung mga pag-sisinungaling, paniniwalaan na akala ng tao. So kailangan at nip it at the bud. Ibig sabihin sa simula pa lamang. No? Ang daming, grabe, ang daming mga lumalabas kasi kung ano-ano.
Yun po yung nagiging challenge talaga, ma'am, kasi we're a relatively small agency. We have barely 200 personnel on staff.
Wow.
That including na po yung mga boss namin from our chairperson to our most junior guide. Talaga pong challenge siya kasi in the age of social media, it only needs one viral post.
Yes.
And what we're asking po from the public is to help us call out yung talagang drastic mistakes, drastic misinterpretations of our past. Kasi it diminishes the value of our history, number one. And at the same time, it flames pinapalakas niya po yung mga things that divide us rather than
unite
things
us.
that unite us po.
Oo, true. So talagang dapat aggressive yung campaign ninyo. Ganun. And then you have to maybe tie up with educational institutions and, di ba, iba pang
Yes
mga
po.
ahensya.
So we're working on a we actively work with yung various history departments across the country kasi may kanya-kanyang specialty po yung mga yan with historians from here and abroad to call out, especially po yung gumagamit ng AI na misinterpreted, misrepresented, ganyan. And through their insights, we're able to call out, we're able to write to content creators to ask them to correct. Kasi po we don't really have the power to police them. That the most we can do is right now po is to challenge them by correcting them online. Pero yun nga po, the more sensational a thing is, the more it spreads.
Yeah.
And
the
kahit po
outrageous ko minsan di ba?
Yun nga po eh.
Out of this world.
Although, to be fair po, marami pong outrageous things na nangyari sa history natin. Nagkakataon lang po, people tend to create outrageous things rather than just learn about the outrageous things that happened in our history. Kung titignan lang po nila yung history, they don't need to create things. Ganun po ka-vibrant ang history natin. That everything that could happen had already happened before. Nasa ano lang po yan, dedication nyo na maghanap din sa history natin.
At sabi nga nila, itong mga recent events sa ating buhay politika kung minsan mas mas creative pa kaysa sa mga nasusulat sa mga telenovela.
Pero ayun, ulitin ko lang, may nangyari na rin po dyan from previous iterations of our legislative branch. So talagang it never ceases to amaze us yung what can happen. So as historians po, yun po yung talagang amazing para sa amin. It can repeat itself.
Right, and it is kind of repeating itself. No? Okay. Sa digital platforms, hindi na halos nagbubukas ng mga libro, no? Wala na halos dyaryo, di ba? Dati may mga microfiche pa Naalala mo yun, di ba?
Meron po kami dyan somewhere.
I'm sure, no? Pero ngayon ano yun, hindi na kilala ng mga kabataan yan. Paano natin mailalapit ito sa kanilang henerasyon?
Maabot na po kami sa point, ma'am, na nandun kami kung nasaan yung mga kabataan. May mga initiatives po kami na gumawa na rin ng podcast.
Yes, why not?
Kasi nakokol po yung attention namin sa ibang podcasts. Nagva-viral na rin po yung ibang takes namin. We actually have come to the point po na we try to speak the language of the current generation. We do posts informative at the same time yung nakaka-relate po dun kung paano yung style ng current generation. Kasi millennial po ako, yung Gen Z, hindi ko na halos maintindihan, to be honest. Pero pag ganun po yung approach namin, it actually did work. Nag-viral po yung isang post na yun we've spread out across the platform. So meron po kaming YouTube channel for documentaries, meron kaming TikTok. Kahapon po gumagawa lang kami ng reels with the National Museum. So talagang kailangan po, we have to be where the people are. Kasi that's the only way they can approach our history.
Especially sa mga kabataan, kung nasan sila, dapat nandun din kayo. And speaking of mga kabataan, ano ang mensahe ng NHCP sa kanila tungkol sa pag-aalala natin at pagpapahalaga sa ating kasaysayan?
Kayo po yung pag-asa sa kinabukasan ng bayan natin. Alam ko po mabigat isipin yun. Kasi naging kabataan din naman po. Actually, bata pa naman po kami. Di mo po nagkakalayo yung mga edad. Hindi naman po ibig sabihin ng kailangan din natin ialay yung buong buhay natin para sa bayan. Kailangan lang po may pakialam.
Ayan.
Kailangan lang po kapag may mga bagay na kailangang panindigan, alam po natin kung ano yung pinanggalingan ng mga bayani natin, kung ano yung pagkakakilanlan natin bilang bayan, at alam po natin kung saan natin gusto dalhin yung bayan natin in the future. Yun po yung tunay na essence sa sinasabi ni Rizal. And that's all we can hope for, to be honest. Kasi may kanya-kanya naman po tayong tahakin sa buhay. Sana po, sama-sama tayo, improve po ang ating bayan.
Ayan, naliisa lamang ang ating bansa.
Tama po.
Maraming salamat. Ayan, Ginoong Geradila sa pagbabahagi ng mahalagang kaalaman tungkol sa ating kasaysayan, mga bayani, at sa importansya ng pagpreserba ng ating pambansang pamana. Muli ating pong nakasama si Ginoong Josef, Alec D. Geradila ng National Historical Commission of the Philippines. Salamat po.
Thank you po.
A nation that remembers its past, understands its present, and builds a better future. Because history is not only about what happened before, it is about the lessons we carry, the values we protect, and the identity we pass on to the next generation. At yan po ang tunay na mukha sa likod ng mga balita at mga isyong pinag-uusapan, matapang na humarap at nagpakilala. Ako po si Angelique Lazo at ito ang In Person. Thank you so much, Alex.